Good evening, all. I'm Dr. Ajay from University of Petroleum Engineering, Mechanical Engineering Department. Uh, Today we have a very pertinent question about multidisciplinary education and the future of mechanical engineering. And with me, I have the experts from different fields who are basically mechanical engineers but working in different domains. Uh, I have with me Mr. Anupam, who is Chief Program Manager, Visteon India. I have with me Shivangi Nagar, who is our alumni from Mechatronics Engineering 1418 batch. And currently, she is working with Siemens in corporate strategy. I have also with me Mr. Shubham Agrawal, who is Business Development Manager in Mahindra and Mahindra, and he's also our automotive design engineering alumnus from 1317 batch. So these panel members will take you through the journey of understanding this domain of mechanical engineering and the different offshoots. Before we actually begin, let me just make a small introduction to the branch of mechanical engineering. This mechanical engineering branch is one of the oldest branch of engineering, and it has come up nicely. And currently, also, if you see, a lot of technologies uh, are actually coming out, and they find a lot of application in the mechanical engineering. There is hardly any field of engineering where we don't see the applications of mechanical engineering. Presently, if you see, the technologies are converging, new systems are emerging, and these systems are advanced and quite interdisciplinary in nature. They're also efficient, and uh, they buy in from different domains and different disciplines of knowledges. For just for an example, if I have to name a few, you can look at the technologies like self-driving car, 3D printing, which is being used in multiple domains, including healthcare. If you look at the augmented reality, virtual reality, if you look at the robotics, if you look at the IoT, artificial intelligence, if you look at the medical technology, if you look at the nanotechnology, drones technology, and many more technologies, to name a few, they are actually buying in from different domains and has become quite interdisciplinary in nature. And therefore, in the present time, if you have to see, none of the domains of engineering can survive in isolations, and they cannot survive unless and until they appreciate the facts of the real life engineering. Uh, with those few words from my side, I would like to uh, introduce my panel. I would request uh, my panel members, starting with Mr. Anupam Vijay, who is Chief Program Manager, to just explain to the audience what is the background in which from which he came, and where he graduated, and the kind of domain where he is presently working. I'm sure he would have experienced all those challenges which I just discussed with respect to the different disciplines. So, Mr. Anupam, will you please
Yeah,
introduce?
thank thank Professor Ajay. Good afternoon, guys. I'm Anupam Vijay, and as Professor Ajay mentioned that we come from the basically from the mechanical engineering. So I have also done my graduation in mechanical engineering from Government Institute in Rajasthan, Kota, under the Rajasthan University. And I also done my master's into the CAD and CAE from REC Allahabad, and now those are known as MNITs. I started my career as a mechanical engineer with a maintenance as a maintenance engineer with the chemical industry, and then slowly moved myself into the automotive medical equipments, and then again automotive industry, and again as on today when we are speaking today again I got one of the project actually today, this morning only for the medical equipments, and we are going to support as a vision. We are going to support a ventilator manufacturing for India and South Africa market. So this is the kind of diversification which is possible being a mechanical engineer. We have worked into the multi-disciplinary product lines, and as you keep seeing it, and I keep telling this to the all the new talents as well, that mechanical engineers, they can work into any field, because the basic or the base of the physics is always used into the mechanical engineering, and without a physics, nothing in this world is possible. You take up any of the items in the world, you can relate, and it cannot be without mechanical engineering.
Absolutely, Anupam. May I request Shivangi to please introduce herself and tell us about the uh, background and the current profile in which she is working.
Yeah, sure, sir. So, hello, all the UP sites and also the current aspiring students who want to come to mechanical engineering to our college. Well, I am from Mechatronics. I'm a 2018 batch pass out, and currently I'm working in Siemens. I got this placement from the campus placements that happened back in 2018. I joined in the process planning department, and I was working in factory automation. And from there, I went to the headquarters where now I work as a data engineer in corporate strategy, where we look towards the business profitability on large scale for Siemens groups. Um, Apart from it, when I talk about well, I'm from mechatronics engineering, but I would really talk about, I would really like to talk about mechanical engineering, because yeah, it is close to my heart. And also that, like how Sir was mentioning, it's an evergreen branch, because I mean, if we start from 18th century, we have been having some 4 5 industrial revolutions. The first one being the mechanical revolution, the second one being the electrical revolution, the third one being electronics plus IT integration revolution, or we say automation. The fourth one, the very important one, was the digital systems and the cloud systems. That was Industry 4.0. But what I'm going to talk about now is very important, that Industry 4.0 is also now has started to become the past. What are we looking for? The future is Industry 5.0. And this is something that people have given fancy names like co-working with robots, or other names like transhumanism, posthumanism. So what is it? This is exactly the era of robotics. And with robotics, I do not mean humanoids. I mean any sort of a physical system that has an adjective called intelligence. Now, intelligence comes later. What comes first is the physical system. And what is the physical system? It's nothing but an output of mechanical engineering. So from the past to the present, and maybe someday if we are going to some other planet as a whole, it's with use of the satellites, with use of the aerospace engineering, it would always require mechanical engineers as a first priority. So
Thank you, Shivangi. We will hear more from you as we go forward. I would request Mr. Shubham to introduce himself and how his current profile is actually finding the knowledge base from the mechanical engineering.
Sorry, I was on mute. Thank you, sir, for this opportunity. And so, yeah, my name is Shubham Agrawal. I am a 2013-2017 pass out from Automotive Design Engineering from UPES. So I also, just like Shivangi, bagged a campus placement in Mahindra & Mahindra, and since then I've been associated with this company. In this 3 years of tenure in this company, I have been associated with two of the key departments, if I would say, and that has been one is the customer care department, basically the technical support which every company somehow provides, either by the services on field or off field, both the ways. So I used to take care of that. Currently, I am a business development manager, which basically, if I would say, as a sales and marketing profile. So I look after the sales and marketing for a particular state for the commercial vehicles. Okay, and today we are here to talk about mechanical engineering as a multidisciplinary function for for all the aspirants who really want to join into this field, and also the current people who are studying into this domain. So we will talk about more in detail about all this. But yes, as Shivangi pointed out, I'll just point that same thing again to you, that mechanical is definitely an evergreen branch, and every sort of branch, like may it be computer science, may it be aerospace, may it be any branch you may term out. Not only branch, if I would say to pick up any example from your daily life, in your home, whatever products you see, even if that you put me out, I can actually relate that of how mechanical engineering was related to it, how the mechanical engineering gave birth to that product. Okay, so
Right.
mechanical engineering is all around us. We just need to find our views. That's all. I
Right.
guess we'll talk about more in detail. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Shubham, we will talk about the details. See, as we can see, the real life challenges and real life machines need the knowledge from all different domains, because when we try to solve something real life, you will always see that the different aspects would come into picture, and we have to be careful dealing with all the aspects. Apart from that, we have been seeing the transition from a very manual systems to semi-automatic and then automatic systems. So a lot of power and control and electronics and computers is also coming into the engineering solutions. So my question is to Mr. Anupam, who comes from that kind of background. How do you see and what do you see as the future scope of mechanical engineering? How is this branch of engineering relevant to the current scenario when people are very much interested in learning about the Internet of Things and artificial intelligence, machine learning? How is this still relevant to mechanical engineering? Because you see, most of the real life systems, uh, even if a mechanical engineer has to solve, he will have to take in the help of all these domains. So how do you see the future of mechanical engineering in the current scenario?
Yeah, so let me take few minutes onto this, Professor Ajay, because this is really a very interesting topic, because we are going to speak about the future. And even so future cannot be linked or cannot be seen if we do not know what is the history behind that. And if you look from the as I mentioned in the beginning remark also, mechanical engineering is all about the physics, and when it comes to the even creation of the universe, and the creation of anything which we are going using today, whether it is IoT, whether it is electronics, whether it is embedded systems, whether it is in safety equipments into the automotive, it is the home appliances, intelligent home appliances into the homes. Nothing comes without a physics. Even the every electronics which moves around, the communication happens. The electrons flow from one place to another flow. Uh, Everything is being understood with the help of physics, and the mother of any engineering, as we know, is the physics. And the mechanical engineers are being taught the basics of that physics, which helps the mechanical engineer to develop a kind of skills, and then they are able to create that mindset which will develop, which will allow them to develop the tools of current requirements as well as for the future requirements of this world. As when I look 20 years back, when I was graduating from the engineering, I was looking that I will work probably more onto the machines, because the mechanical engineering was all about the special purpose machines like lathe machines, some of the manufacturing equipments, some of the maintenance, the gearboxes, or if I am able to expand my role as a mechanical engineer, I may get into a automotive industry, working with the engines, IC engines, etc., etc., etc. But now when we look into today, and when I am after 20 years, I am now working onto the core electronic products. We talk about the connecting mobility. We talk about the in-car infotainment systems, IVI, which include the audio, video things as an information flow for the passengers, for the vehicle central control unit, in order to use those information flow for the safety of the people inside the car as well as outside the car. And this is the kind of thing was possible only because I am a mechanical engineer. I am proud to be that. And most of the places where we see these technologies which are need to be developed to help the human being in general, is not at all possible, because without having a physical entity, you cannot have any other thing to work. Even when you talk about the computer science, the hard disk which are being manufactured, the component which are being used to store the megabytes of data or gigabyte and terabyte of data is not possible to be manufactured without having a mechanical engineer. This is going to stay forever. It is not something which was there in the past and which is here today. This branch of the engineering is going to stay forever. It is not going to end unless there is a this physical world of the exist into the universe. Mechanical engineering is going to stay, and it will remain into the demand of every domain of a human life.
Right. So thank you, Anupam, on for elaborating on this aspect, because we very well understand. But for the new aspirants, they might be having this siloed mindset where they think that mechanical is kind of very manual activity and very machine limited activity. Shivangi, I just want to come back to you on this thing, because you studied mechatronics engineering, and when we started this mechatronics engineering in 2011, it was considered a little ahead of time, and people were thinking that this needs a lot of effort from the students' point of view. I mean, they would need to learn about mechanical, they would need to learn about electronics and computers, and it will be quite a burden for a student. But I have seen over the years the student and graduates coming out of this program really doing very well. How do you see your program helping you, and what you would like to say to the aspirants about this program of engineering which you have done?
Yeah, sir. So like you mentioned, mechatronics being a rigorous course, I would definitely not deny, because back then when we used to study almost everything, and looking at our friends who were in computer science studying something like which is towards a computer programming, it used to sometimes astonish us or make us feel bad that we have to study everything. But the good point, the better side of it was too good, because it gave us first of all a multi-dimensional opportunities in life. Because when back in 12th standard, 12th grade, we were so naive about taking up an engineering and never looking back. Because when I see my friends being in computer science or electrical engineering, they have no going back apart from it. But being a mechatronics student, I always had the opportunity to go to definitely data engineer that I am, then also mechanical, electronics, electrical, information systems, robotics, automation, everything, almost everything. And yeah, it definitely, mechatronics engineering definitely sums up, I would say, every engineering is out there. And especially when I talk about UPS being one of those few colleges which provide this engineering with a very vast syllabus. yeah, sometimes it becomes a little, you know, difficult time, but then it's okay. I think it has a very better side at the end of 4 years. It makes you adaptable, a fast learner, and being agile at the same time.
Yes, absolutely. I think I would agree with you on that. The kind of flexibility which it adds when you learn different sciences and different technologies, and especially when you learn about the interface of the technologies and interface of mechanical components with the electronics and the kind of things needed in that. So that makes you really flexible and more adaptable, more towards the real life systems. So that's really a great thing you said. Shubham, I would like to hear from you because you also come from a multidisciplinary program called as Automotive Design Engineering. This program is it buys a lot of knowledge from the designing aspect. It buys a lot of knowledge from the mechanical engineering. It also has all the information which Anupam was just mentioning about the instrument cluster, infotainment system, and then Internet of Things, and then self-driving things also coming into the car. How much do you see is this program challenging to the new aspirant? Does it pose really good challenge to the students to create new systems and become much more creative in the time in which we are living? What is your view on that?
Okay, thank you, sir, for the question. So, in automotive design engineering, firstly, I would brief all the attendees who are here. Automotive design engineering is I would say, is a very specialized branch in mechanical engineering itself. Okay, but the catch here is that the course automotive design engineering, which UPS is offering, I have personally been through it for 4 years. I can tell you one thing for very sure, that the kind of curricular which we have in UPS, in particular in the particular stream of automotive, that is so vast that it cannot be compared. Personally, I'll be saying this, that it cannot be compared with any of the other colleges who are even giving the automotive engineering courses. This is automotive design engineering course, so obviously it is kind of different. And I would also like to bring out one point, that automotive engineering is more of mechanical engineering with some of the input from the engine development side. Okay, from the engine development and calculation and so on. But automotive design engineering actually covers the whole vehicle. Whatever vehicle you may point out, may be scooty, may be car, may be truck, bus, or anything. All the system which a vehicle is comprised of, maybe transmission, tires, anything, any probably the system which is combined in the vehicle. All that has been taught in a very detailed manner in this course to us. And I have experienced this personally. I have been through a lot of trainings, and I have attended a lot of sessions, which where I have got a chance to interact with the other people from other colleges, from the mechanical engineering or automotive engineering, and their level of understanding of these systems in detail is not as far as our was, because our system was very different. In fact, if I would tell about UPS in particular, we have some labs, even in for practical studies, we have labs which you won't find in any other automotive engineering degree colleges. So that is one thing about the course and the future. If the challenges which just mentioned, there are no such challenges. There are no such challenges. I would say all the people, like these boys, I would say all the boys have definitely interest in bikes and cars and whatnot. So you will definitely find it interesting knowing more about it in detail. And this can help you when you will join a company in mechanical sector or even in automotive sector. This can actually help you in a vast way, and it will. There's one more thing, that it was not only mechanical engineering but automotive engineering which we studied. In this whole program, if I would have to cover, we also learned about robotics. We also learned about MATLAB programming, and you should believe that in the last semester we also went through economics. subject as a subject, and it was industry economics, not just regular economics. You don't have to study about tax system or what Modi did. No, not that. But it is about the industry economics, which we play as a supply chain manager or as a production manager. So that economics is also coming into this program. So you are all industry ready. After completing this course, you will be industry ready. You can join actually any of the department in that mechanical sector. May it be sales, may it be marketing, may it be production, may it be design development, anything. So that is
Absolutely, absolutely. Shubham, I completely agree with you. Industry readiness is what is the buzzword here, and that is where the departmental consultative committees and the think tank of the universities and colleges need to put effort in and find out the programs which are relevant. Uh, this reminds me of one question here, which I want to ask Mr. Anupam. And this question is really something in everybody's mind who is looking at this particular program. That what is the uh, strength of mechanical engineering in the current scenario when the new aspirants are getting carried away and they have interest in the fields like computer sciences and IT and IT enabled services and those kind of branches, different specialization of IT and computer sciences program. What do you see as the strength of mechanical engineering, which is still relevant and without without which it is very difficult to solve the problems of this world, and therefore it is a requirement.
Yeah, so Professor Ajay, again, thanks for the very good question. Actually, to clarify some of the things which are going on into the new aspirants' minds. As the basics never changes. Okay, I have spoken that in the in few other, earlier comments as well, and again, I am going to speak the same thing into the different way to explain the thing. If you look into the any other technology which we are being used, we are using it. Every technology has been put into a physical system. Okay, whether it is an automotive industry, whether it is in home appliances industry, whether it is a cosmetics, whether it is a medical equipments, whether it is a surgical equipments, even the way doctors do the surgery onto the operation during the they even look into a CAE analysis of what kind of plates would be good if you go through the trauma where you have the broken bones into your body, and if they need to put a plate in place, they need to understand physics behind that and those and mechanical analysis of with using the computer aided analysis. How many screws will be good onto your bone in order to give the right level of stability post your treatment or post your surgery. A similar way, as I mentioned, onto the infotainment systems which we have, the wireless communications which we do using our mobiles, using the internet, etc. There is no technology which can be there without having a physical system. Even if you need to transmit the data from one location to another location wirelessly, you need to have the two servers speaking together. Okay, physical servers are located somewhere in the world, may not be connected directly with each other, but they need to have physical servers in order to connect. So that means anything which is physical, a mechanical engineer is required to design that physical part, to work onto the physical parts. And without a mechanical engineering brain, no other technology would be able to adapt into the realization. That is one thing, and how this is possible. And now, as Subham and Shivangi also mentioned, and you also mentioned into your about UPS, and it is true for every other institute. Actually, it should be true for any other institute also. They need to get into that kind of curriculum which you are already having much more in advance, to probably synchronize more of the technologies together, take the harmonic blend, and develop those similar kind of branches and streams like mechatronics, which talk about more of a mechanical and electronics engineering. But in the future, we need to talk about the mechanical plus chemical industries together, because the kind of surface treatment, the kind of lightweight engineering which are required to be the materials engineers and mechanical engineers, they need to work together. And there should be some streams, not only STEM specializations, but there should be some streams very beginning. We need to start where we teach the basics to every engineer coming to the campus, and they are able to find a harmonic blend. The mechanical engineering is able to pick up that very fast, because the basics itself have the multidisciplinary approach as a mechanical engineer, and it becomes easy for them to have the understanding of any other technology. If you speak today, probably it may be a very difficult for a computer science engineer to work on a mechanical design, or to work on an automotive engine or an aircraft sitting arrangements, or a aircraft engine, etc. But it is easy because the system is understood, what that particular physical system is expected to be done, to be doing. That is understood by the mechanical engineer. And then how this should be done with the help of technology, because he understands what basic activity need to be done by the system. A mechanical engineer has become a easy choice to use certain other technologies to get that work done from the physical component, which was probably in the past was done manually, and now we are using the technology. But the work done by the aircraft engine is same today also, to primarily taking the aircraft from one place to the another place on a higher speed.
So absolutely correct, Anupam. I think that's the point actually, which is needed to be brought forward. Just one thing which I was just thinking, especially in context with UPES, we have been doing it. We have this habit of finding the niche area and having programs in those niche areas. So we got mechanical engineering program, we got mechatronics engineering, we have automotive design engineering. We had one program called as material science and nanotechnology. Apart from this, we are not teaching these programs as if there is no computers in this world, as if there is no electronics in this world. Even I'm sure other universities also must be doing it, but at our university we have this habit of taking the technologies and help from the technologies, and equipping the students and improving their flexibility and adaptability to these situations. There are few things which I would like to mention. Just for example, we have been giving the major in the mechanical engineering, or major in the mechatronics engineering, and major in the automotive design engineering. But currently we have started this concept of minor specializations also, which some student can also pick. For example, the minor specialization in IoT, minor in driverless car, minor in Internet of Things, minor in artificial intelligence, minor in data sciences. So these are again 20 credit course which we teach our students. So along with the major, when we give these kind of things to the students, they have the flexibility to be working in different sectors, and the challenges which are faced by the normal engineers are not actually faced by these engineers. They're better equipped looking at the technological convergence and the speed of technology change. We have seen a lot of disruption in the automotive sector. We have seen a lot of disruptions in the education technology, and we are trying to bring in all those disruptions at a place in the form of minors, and we are granting it to the students. Just going forward, I would like to, before we take some questions, I see good number of questions being put by the students. We will need to take those questions as well. This question is again to Anupam, because you have that kind of background. You have been continuously learning and evolving with respect to time, because you changed from being a maintenance engineer to be heading one of the primary functions in the electronic industry. Uh,
Yeah,
what are the
electronics and
what is
software
the
is
word of advice? What is the word of advice to the new and upcoming graduates and the aspirants, which you would like to give in the current scenario to become much more agile looking at the job market?
Yeah, so generally, and this is one of the mantra which I have kept close to myself as well. And this is what I generally speak to the all the fellows who would like to get the success into the life. Okay, and it's not about only the mechanical engineering or engineering persons, but this could be a general mantra for the success. And I would like to share that again here into this forum. There are three things actually, if you keep into close to your heart, your mind works accordingly. Whatever close to your heart, your mind will work towards that much more efficiently. And those three things, in order to get the probably professional success or a personal success, would be having a right mindset about the life, and about the what we want to achieve into our life as a human being. And obviously, in order to achieve those things, once you have the mindset, what you need to look is the kind of skills which are required to be there. And if you keep learning those skills during your journey, because the knowledge is there is no restriction on to the knowledge now, across the globe. Just a click away, we can get any kind of knowledge. So gathering a knowledge is not a difficult at all, as it used to be 20 years, 20, 30 years, 50 years, or 100 years before. Today, the knowledge availability across to the every person, in fact, to any person who has got a smartphone in his hand. And as you know, we have more than 60-80 crores of smartphone within India. That means the getting knowledge is not a difficult task. What is more important, after knowing that what knowledge is required, the most important is to develop those tools and to apply that knowledge into your practical life. The more you apply, more you practice something, you become more expert into that. And getting that expertise, or like using your knowledge, or the skills which you have developed with the help of right tools, that is what makes you more successful, and happy about that you are contributing into as a human being. Whether you contribute as
Absolutely, absolutely.
a doctor, or you contribute as a engineer, or you contribute as a commercial person, or you continue as a businessman. Anything in the life, if you start thinking to that way, that will be the key of success, in my personal opinion, Professor Ajay.
Yeah, so thank you, Vijay, on that. What I could make out is it is important to look at the curriculum and also the inner flexibility within yourself. I think the combination of these two things will make you the most apt person for any of the domain which I could see as a gist. Before we take the questions from the audience here, quickly, Shivangi and Shubham, I would like to hear from you in 1 minute. What is one thing where your engineering domain has helped you, and where your engineering has given you an advantage over your compatriots in the fight for a good position in the jobs.
Okay, so it's
Difficult
just
question.
about yeah, no, it's not a difficult one. So like it looks like, but I think I might be able to answer. So just this year, when I was at my place working as in the same team that I'm working right now, and there was a shortage of a mechanical engineer in the factory. So I was just proud, I had to go back there, and I was just so there is this 5-year mechanical strategy that we have to every time form in for Siemens for the Siemens for Pan India, and then there we have some assets like from ranging from transformers to electrical systems to PCBs to relays to almost everything. And back then when we had to, like I went to the panel, and most of the people who were of my age were pretty shocked about that somehow I knew all of those systems and its components. And then I got the answer of why I was studying all those throughout my 4 years. Yeah. So no, I don't think any knowledge gets wasted, no matter how much it is, how less it is. It always gets utilized in some of the other way.
That's a real advantage, I would say. That's a real advantage. Similarly, I had one discussion with one of our power system engineering student, and the other people who joined the company, they were stunned to look at his abilities. I mean, he was talking about mechanical, he was also talking about electrical and generation, distribution. So this is the kind of thing which we have seen with our programs. Shubham, would you like to add something to that?
Sure, sir. As I discussed earlier also, I have this 3 years experience in Mahindra. And prior to that, actually, I also got an opportunity to get trained with Tata Motors for 5 months. So I'll start one of the examples from there itself. I will not name any college here, but along with me, there were many other trainees who were there in the workshop. And we used to get trained every day. And as every day folded, as every day unfolded itself, we get to know that they were like not even in the competition in that case, because the kind of projects, the kind of responsible projects, I would say, the deputy manager, there was one deputy manager, Mr. Sanjeev Mishra. So he was distributing these very valuable projects for his powertrain department. And I was given one of the key, two of the very key good projects for the department, and successfully I completed them. So there was a vast difference between the kind of knowledge we take from this course. If I'm only talking about automotive design engineering here. Okay.
Right.
So yeah, so that was one of the examples where, for the very first time, I would very frankly tell you, for the very first time, I really found that, oh, come on, this is now something edge which I have got among those people who comes from, I'm still not naming any college, but you can make out. Those were the
Yes.
top colleges from all over India.
So let us not name that. Let us not name that.
Yeah. I'm not naming. I'm not
sure.
naming any of them. And
But
one of the thing also happened, sir. If you would like me to tell, one incident also happened when I joined Mahindra as a professional. During first 6-8 months, we are named as GETs, graduate engineer training. Everyone must be knowing about this. So in that training period, sir, I was also given technical training on the product. We were supposed to dismantle and assemble the whole vehicle by ourselves, by hand, not even automated machinery. By hand, we used to dismantle and assemble the whole vehicle, and every component of it, not just vehicle, every component of it. And as we used to dismantle and assemble that again, and
yes.
its whole detail, the minute details, we were so much aware about that. I was in fact the most highest rated GPs in that batch because of all that training. I was successfully able to do that without any much of help from the trainers.
Yeah. So absolutely, Shubham, you got the point, and this is something which should be picked by all the aspirants. That beauty lies in the details, and when you have this ace over others, when you're looking at the details, this is what gives you an edge when you go out and compete with others. So Before we go ahead, I would like to take some questions, and most of my questions would be directed to Anupam ji on this, and a crisp answer to these questions would be required because the time is little short. So we can take few questions. One of the question which comes here is uh, what will be the future of mechanical engineering? Increase or decrease? This is one question which one of the student is asking, one of the aspirant is asking rather.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, the future is going to remain. It is obviously going to increase because the expectation of the physical world is also increasing. Day by day, we are seeing the new technology, new instruments, and new need of doing the various aspects is increasing, and the more and more requirements come for as a help for the human being in this world. Obviously, in order to convert those ideas into physical ideas, mechanical engineers are required. And with the right combinations of your skills, you would be able to generate more and more jobs into the future as well.
Okay, so one more question, although this is little technical, but he asked, what is carburetor in a car in the automotive sector? This is so obviously looks to be an aspirant who is looking for mechanical engineering. He wants to know what is a carburetor in a car. Maybe Shubham, you can answer that. So basically, carburetor, if I have to tell you, is uh, uh, a device which is used for preparation of the charge. The air and fuel is mixed in a proper ratio before it is being sent inside the engine cylinder for combustion. So it's an important component, but now with the advent of technology, these carburetors are becoming obsolete, and we have a lot of new technologies coming up in terms of MPFI, LMPFI, and so on. So yes, it is a question into the domain. Uh, the second question, other question which one of the student is asking, what is the scope of mechatronics and triple E in India in future? Shivangi, can you take this question?
Sure. To tell you the future of mechatronics, there was one of the forum happening worldwide where the statement was that in 2018 that the statement was that mechatronics is the future of the world. So, to be honest, I'm not sure how many of you are following such forums, but then, like I told you, the Industry 5.0 involves the transhumanism and posthumanism concepts. Definitely, mechatronics has the major part. It plays a major role in that. So there's
Yeah,
no
so
point.
kind of it's a kind of offshoot to, yes, obviously suiting better to the current scenario. Just
Yeah.
in the same reference, there is one more question I'll be putting to Anupam. He asked which engineering is better in terms of job opportunities, mechanical or electronics engineering, because many automotive companies are leaving, but a very few are joining. Would you like to take this
Yeah,
question?
so on to that, you can link this to my earlier statements. I firmly believe that if you have the right application of your knowledge, whatever the knowledge which you are gaining, whether it is electrical, electronics, or a mechanical engineering, don't look it from the job perspective only, because job is all depends on to what is you are able to contribute into any of the organizations. It is the similar way. If you look into edge, I am hoping this is coming from a 12th standard student who has not yet chosen any of the branch. So he need to look into in general around his life also, that look at the businessmen's in the on the street. There are many businessmen are doing the same business, but they are being successful in a different way. Some people are earning and running the business much more efficiently, And even if you take the that sabji wala, some sabji walas are doing it in a much better way than the other sabji walas, right? And there are few people who are able to make a very good amount by selling the cotton also. Okay. You look at the Reliance, you look at the Tatas, okay, the kind of different businesses they are doing, and they entered into the different businesses only because there is a possibility into every business. Similar way, there is a possibility into the every branch. What you need to be more focused that whatever you are going to learn, how good you can apply that knowledge once it comes to convert that into the practicality, and how you can use those tools to be much more honest, because the only the degree will not get you a job.
Right.
The
So,
job would be
Anupam,
given.
just to add to the same question, there is one more question very pertinent. During post COVID-19, is it good to take mechanical engineering? Does it have a future?
Yes, it does have a future, and as we have said this, it is a multidisciplinary. And one of the good thing about the mechanical engineering is from the first year onwards until the final year, as well as when you get into the any specialization, we are being taught the multidisciplinary where we learn. In fact, when I recall even 20 years back, I was taught about the digital electronics. I was taught about the computer science and the C language and Fortran languages, etc. And now, 20 years later, when we look into today syllabus of any universities, and especially the UPS, they are teaching the multidisciplinary things, even though there is in one particular branch, whether it is mechanical engineering, mechatronics, or as mentioned, the material science or automotive designs. What you need to touch upon is the every aspect of that, and that will keep you into the demands in the future.
Yeah, so good answer, Anupam, very absolutely said. There's one more question which one of the aspirant is asking. Maybe I can take this. Is there enough opportunities for fresh mechanical engineering students to become design engineer, and what company uh, expect from candidates and want to become design engineer? Just to give you an answer on this thing, there is a good amount of opportunity. You can always join some of the design programs like BDES, MDES after your engineering also. That is one thing. Second thing is there is a good amount of element in the curriculum in terms of designing, let it be chassis component or engine component or styling, existing in the design program. So you can take forward. A lot of our automotive design students have already done those kind of MDES program and working as good design engineers in very good firms. So that was one more good question. There is one more question which one of the student is asking. What percent of students get successful in mechanical engineering in past years? So talking about UPES, the placement records suggest more than 85% student would find placement from campus itself. Some of them would find uh, uh, through gate examination. Some of them would like to go for higher studies. So almost every student to joining UPES has been finding a job as far as the mechanical engineering is concerned. So that's another important question. We must take that. Uh, one more question is asked by one of the students. He's asking whether mechanical engineering is useful for studying metallurgy. So maybe Anupam, you can take this question.
Yep. Yes, so obviously it is useful, and as I mentioned into the somewhere in the middle of my comments sometime back, the material engineering is nothing but the metallurgy science. and which is very important aspect of the mechanical engineering as well. They get the chance to learn about the materials and metallurgy even as a part of the production engineering, which is one of the subject remain into the core subject of the mechanical engineering. And
Yes.
as there will be more harmonic blend which will take place into the between the industries as well as with the institutes, academic institutes. Such combinations will get developed more into the coming days.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think this metallurgy, a large part of mechanical engineering curriculum has those subjects which takes you and specialize you towards the metallurgy and material sciences. So yes, you can obviously take that. A lot of material engineers, material design engineers, nanotechnology related domains, they are actually using mechanical engineering for all those. Coming to one question, after completing BTech in mechanical engineering, is automobile sector correct to do a job? Obviously, Abhishek, this is one of the best and most lucrative areas. There has been transformation, continuous transformation in the automotive sector. But I would say sky is limit for automotive sector, and looking at the kind of disruptions which are happening, it gives you more opportunity to work as a engineer and find out new solutions to the current problems in the automotive sector. Every facility which you see in a car is an area to work, whether it is engine or the cabin or the capacity or the speed or the performance or the change of fuel and battery. Every area, every aspect of a car is an area for research and work. So obviously, all the fantasies and all the great works of mechanical actually gets applied to cars and aeroplanes and those kind of things. So it is one of the most lucrative areas to work. Uh, right. So can we join Google after mechanical engineering? Yes, if Sundar Pichai can join Google after metallurgy, you can also join mechanical engineering, Google after mechanical engineering. We are not teaching mechanical engineering as if there is no computer in this world and there is no progress in the computers. You can write codes. You can become one of those great people like Sundar Pichai. One question, can you say that studying mechatronics is more advantageous than studying mechanical on the whole? I would not say this. I would say both are choices which you have, and it also
So
depends on
maybe,
your own inclination.
maybe Ajay, let
It
me
depends
take
on
this
your own
before.
inclination. Yeah, surely, Anupam, that would be great.
Okay. So for the everyone's actually, as I told earlier, again, some of the basics never changes. Okay, first thing what you guys need to the students, they need to decide what they want to be, and please do not get under the peers pressure. Don't get into the peers pressure that because my friends are doing this, I should do this. What you yourself would like to do, whether you want to be a design engineer, as somebody was asking few minutes back, decide what you want to do. As I mentioned, that having a right mindset is very important for everyone who want to be someone in the future. Okay, is get,
Yeah,
getting those skills is nowadays not a, difficult. You want to be mechatronics engineer, you choose the mechatronics engineering. You want to be a mechanical engineer, you choose that. uh, Depending on what you want to be, you need to have that choice, and then generating that kind of knowledge and those kind of opportunities in the future is not going to stop you. So be clear what you want to be, and everyone, any branch can get you a success. That is the basic, if you remain onto the ground.
Yeah.
Sir, if you
So
allow me, I want to throw some practical light reading all the questions which I
yes,
have.
yes, yes. Please, please.
So I have gone through a lot of questions, and what I want to tell all the attendees, it will answer a lot of questions in this. About the mechanical engineering and the future scope of all this branches, I would quote the things which, if you may have, yeah. So if you may have witnessed the last speech from Prime Minister Modi, he has certainly quoted two terms. If you may remember, one of them was Atmanirbharta, which surely means India is going to be independent, and this is going to bring a lot of job opportunities in the country. That is one thing. And other thing is he mentioned about supply chain, that the supply chain is going to be a very critical aspect in this whole scenario. And let me tell you, friends, that in any production sector, I'm not talking about the service industry. There are two sectors which we can divide the whole world into. One is service industry and one is product industry. In any product industry, supply chain is a very critical factor, my friends. So there we all, as a mechanical engineer, have a good scope to count on. Now, talking about the packages and the difference between mechanical and computer engineering, I would not tell like what packages I am or Shivangi or anyone else is working on. No, I'm not going to say that. But let me tell you one thing very honestly, and if you may have been through the regular news updates, you may understand this, post-lockdown or even in the last 1.5 or 2 years, where a lot of industry has been declining and the business is going down. In that whole scenario, a lot of IT industries only have collapsed the most. A lot of IT jobs have been discarded. But you can search out this on Google, how many mechanical people have been thrown out of their jobs. I don't think there's any number comparable. Only IT jobs are getting discarded there. And I would also tell you this very frankly that maybe in the initial years, IT may give you more package. Maybe Google is giving you some 30-40 lakh package in the initial years. But let me tell you, in IT, there's no as such job security. Looking at the present scenario, I would certainly be assured of this, that there is a lot of job uncertainty there. In mechanical sector, there's a lot of job security, which I myself am facing. Shivangi is there, and a lot of colleagues are there who are they are still on the jobs. They are still working as a mechanical engineer. But IT people,
So Shubham, Shubham, this is one of the odd situations. Let us not take this as a reference to the kind of extrapolations which we are discussing. Yeah, these kind of things can happen anywhere, and we just can't predict this. One more question which is coming from one of the parents. He's asking, my son, he's himself in a PSU, and he's asking, how do I convince my son to join mechanical when all good students are opting for IT and CS? Would you like to take this question, Anupam? This is one of the
Um,
most pertinent question in the
yeah,
mind.
so first, definitely, I personally do not want any parents, and this would be one of the suggestion to the gentlemen. Um, do not push for something of your choice. What we can do as
Absolutely.
elders is we can definitely put the pluses and minuses of, and everything has got the plus and everything has got the it's on the other sides. Basically, there are always multiple sides behind anything. Let him choose what he wants to be. There are advantages, there are disadvantages of everything. So look into that, what we can do for him. We can put the all the sides of IT, all the side of electronics, all the sides of mechanical engineering. And with our experiences, we would be more interested to give him all the true pictures. I'm not telling that we should only tell the good sides of the mechanical engineering, but we should allow him to have his knowledge about every part, every branch of the engineering, if he would like to make his career as an engineer. And then let him choose what he wants to be, because once you are you do what you want, you become more successful many times rather than what you get in by force. But yes, many times students or the kids, they take the wrong decisions because of what they keep seeing around their world. In that peer pressure that everybody is going behind IT, everybody is going behind computer science or electronics, etc. Students should avoid falling into that trap, and they should look and they should listen what they would like to be with all the very open mind and with the open knowledge of about everything. Obviously, as in personally, I am being a mechanical engineer. I am today heading a group of close to 1100 people coming from the computer science background, coming from the mechanical engineering, coming from the electronics engineering, instrumentation engineering, etc. Okay, so that is the kind of thing which we can do being a mechanical engineer. What you need to continue doing is generate your knowledge base. An IT engineer or a computer science engineer may not be able to head the industry. Okay, he may not be able to probably if we talk about the PSUs, if we talk about the automotive company, we talk about the aerospace, we talk about the appliances industry, etc. Most of the leaders who are running the organizations, they will come from the mechanical background as a general managers. Yes, as a technical expert, if you want to be more of a technical expert, you can be from a particular domain. But if you want to get into a overall entrepreneur for the industry, it is the mechanical engineering which will give you a entrepreneur kind of learning and feeling.
Thank you, Anupam. Thank you so much for your answers. I think we cannot take any more questions. There were a few more questions regarding whether they can join MTech programs in aerospace, whether they can.
Yes, so maybe quickly they have the chance after getting into the engineering, and especially for the masters and the way it is changing.
Yes, obviously
they can choose
obviously they can join
branch
all these programs.
Okay, and just to let the guys know that our president of Visteon India, who is the head of Visteon India, he's an mechanical plus electronics engineer, and both the degrees are earned separately as a full-time course, and one in masters and another one into the graduations. So those multidisciplinary is always possible.
Words, I would like to thank the panel members, Mr. Anupam, Shivangi, and Shubham, and wish all these students and parents best of luck, and take a thought of decision. This was only for the awareness. Take thought of decision. You need to spend time finding out your own inclination and choices. Thank you so much for joining the session on this multidisciplinary education and future of mechanical engineering. Thank you, Anupam, once again. The connection looks a little unstable now. I don't know how long we will be able to be there, but I would like to thank all for being with us on this session. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, and all the very best.
Thank you. Thank you.